So in 2010, I was a triathlon coach for a group called Team in Training, which is a fundraiser for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And that's how I met Amy. She came to us and she wanted to give back to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society for the help they gave her and her husband when he fought through his blood cancer. She did her event. It was Philadelphia Triathlon. She did really, really well, and we went our separate ways. A few months later, my phone rings, and I hear, "Hey, Bob," in her happy hippie voice that she always had. And I said, "Hey, Amy, how you doing?" Because that's the way I always greeted her. And she said, "Bob, are you interested in biking on Friday, July 29th with me, because I'm taking a long weekend for my birthday?" I said, "Amy, you know me." I said, "Biking is like beer and sex. More is better, too much is never enough." So that next morning, we jumped on our bikes and we headed towards Kings Gap, which is a local environmental center near us. It's about 20 miles away. Amy and I got to be really good friends because I tell stupid jokes and she laughs at them, no matter if she's heard them 100 times. So as we rode, as we passed the fields and we rode through a lot of different farmland on the back roads that we always biked on, I would yell back, "Amy, that cow over there, it says keep moving." And she would laugh and she would go, "Bob," because she's heard it a million times before. We went past Boiling Springs, a little town near us. We went through Mount Holly, a little town near us. As we headed out towards Kings Gap, we crossed the Norfolk Southern rail, and of course I yelled back, "Amy, a train just went past there." She says, "Really, Bob?" I said, "Yeah, you can still see its tracks." And she's heard that 4 million times. We made a left turn towards Kings Gap on Pine Road, and at the top of Kings Gap, I gave her a choice. I said, "Amy, you have two choices. At the bottom of the hill, we can make a right, and it will be about a 40 to 45 mile bike ride. If we make a left, the only way I know to get back is going to be between 70 and 75 miles. So what do you want to do?" "Well, Bob, let's go left." So my response is, well, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So off we went. At the bottom of the hill, we hung a left. I didn't have a whole lot of water with me, didn't have a whole lot of food with me. As we traversed out through Walnut Bottom, out towards Newville, we're now in Mennonite and Amish country. So now there's lots of bikes on the road, except theirs are heavy and black, and they're working. We're just out for a good time. As we went through Newville, I had to say the joke, "Amy, that cemetery over there, it's the most popular one in Cumberland County." "Really, Bob?" "Yeah, people were dying to get in." And we went through Newville. We got to Sailor's Market and we stopped to get some food and water since we were probably about 50 miles into the bike ride by now. We chit-chatted a little bit, didn't really say a whole lot, and started to make our final 20-mile ride towards home. As we went through Bloserville, Long Creek Road, it's a beautiful road. It's nice and swoopy, lots of birds. The day actually was a nice day. We went through Carlisle, which is a little bit of a pain because you're going through a town. And then we ended up back at Mechanicsburg where we started. As we were standing there and I was packing up my bike, she was packing up her bike, of course I had to say, "Amy, control yourself. I'm taking my shirt off." She's, "I know, Bob, it's the curse you live with." And then she turned around and I looked at her and her face kind of got serious, which the whole ride hadn't been serious. I don't know if you got that. And I looked at her and she's like, "Bob, thanks a lot for biking with me." I said, "Hey, thanks a lot for biking with me. Thanks for asking." And she's walked towards me and said, "I don't know if you know this, because I never really told anybody, but today is the 1-year anniversary that Brett died." I was like, "Oh, that was her husband who fought lymphoma." I said, "I did not know that." So I'm really, really sorry. She gave me this huge big hug. We might have got a little bit verklempt, might have got a little bit misty. And I said, "Does this mean this really wasn't a birthday bike ride?" She said, "Oh yeah, my birthday's tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, well that's not too good." And she thanked me again for the bike ride, and we went our separate ways. And she's like, "If you want to bike again sometime, just let me know." I said, "Amy, beer and sex, baby, beer and sex." So since that day in 2010, we've had a lot of adventures and probably together over 7,000 miles on the bike. And I can truly say our friendship has gone the distance.